Good morning, people. I've done a lot for the new project this week. I've made some massive strides forward and I'm going to share with you the things that I've been doing this week for my brand new music project while I drink my morning smoothie. Oh, delicious. Like a little throne. So while I build up the skills for this new project, I'm still developing the project itself. It's quite frustrating though, because I feel like a lot of things are just ready to go. I just don't have the skill to be able to like bring them to the next level. And I spoke to someone once who had a #1 album in the 80s, and he said to me that my ideas are all there. It's just an easy win for me would be to increase the production value and the execution of my ideas. And one of the things he specifically said that I should look into is like the arrangement of my music. This is something I've been mulling over for quite some time now, because I feel like the better my skills become, the more I think like someone who plays that instrument. So for instance, like I've always been coming at things thinking of it in terms of being a singer, and so like writing the vocal part, the melody, the harmonies and stuff, but not even really considering what the guitars will be doing, or considering when a solo would be cool, or how to start or end a song. So I've been really like looking into this and like trying to dissect songs that I really like and figure out why I actually like them, and then using that as inspiration for how I can develop my own ideas. For instance, one of these songs which I've just got the most inspiration from recently has been a song called The Shooting Star by Gojira. And the reason I like it is because it's a very strong sounding track. It's not a fast. In fact, I think like slower tracks for me feel stronger, because I mean, I think it's just the energy that it emits. When I think of like something strong in nature as well, I think of it as being something like slower moving. Like if you think of like an elephant is big and moves quite slowly, but you wouldn't want to be stamped on by one of them, you know what I mean? Whereas if you think of like a fly, small, it's usually got like this chaotic, frantic energy. Something that I associate a lot with punk music. It's like this chaotic, frantic energy, whereas like with something like this particular track from Gojira, it's a lot more slow, steady pace. It makes me think more of like a strong, large, like a cave troll. I really like that energy, and I really want to put that energy into my music. And another thing that I like with the track is that they use a lot of like droning sounds, or like using a lot of the same sounds over and over again. Dun, 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 dun. Like it's quite a simple idea, but I think it's really effective. You see this a lot in movies as well. Like in particular, I was thinking about the movie Joker and how they repeat the same motifs over and over again, and it's quite like an eerie, dark feeling with these like low droning sounds. And so yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that and how I can incorporate this into my own music. This week I finished the lyrics and the main like melodies and vocal lines for the songs that I want to include in an album, and I know that I'm a long way off that in terms of like developing all my skills, but the fact that I have like the basic ideas down and I know what I'm going to be building upon is quite a positive step forward for me. And I have like decided on the keys for each of these tracks and how they would flow into one another in an album, and I've also kind of linked together, because I have so many ideas, and ideas are not a problem for me when it comes to lyrics and vocal lines. They are just not an issue. But picking out themes that work together so that it can create a cohesive body of work within a theme, that's a little bit more tricky, because not everything's going to fit in the same album. Not everything's going to make sense within the same collection of songs. And then I've got to think like, well, you know, coming out of the gate with an album is, in my opinion, never a good idea, because you can do as much impact with one great song than you can with like 12 songs. It's still a release, one release. So it makes sense when you're at the beginning of a project, in my mind, to release some singles that really kind of like are a bit more crowd pleasing to get people on board who will then look forward to your other stuff, which will include more songs. You know, you want to like build that following in a very strategic way at the beginning. And so yeah, I've got this idea for this album, but then before that gets released and, you know, while I'm developing it, I want to come up with, I don't know, at least 3 singles. And then whether you take it from that release or whether you create an EP entirely separate of that, or you just create 3 singles that aren't even attached to a collection, you know, they are things to consider. But I'm really pleased that I had this idea for this album. I've come up with, I think it's 8 tracks. I know what all the lyrics and melodies are going to be for them. I've figured out the chord progressions that I like to go with them. I like the theme. I like the names that I've come up with. I've even come up with a name for the album now, which has been something that I've been toying with different things for quite a long time. And I just think it's very exciting, but it also very frustrating because I just can't develop them yet. Like, as I learn more guitar techniques, I come up with more ideas and I do develop every song like a little bit more with everything that I learn. Of course, I ended up getting smoothie on my top. Can you see it? So this week I'm going to start learning how to record music to my laptop, just to get an idea of how feasible that's going to be, how long that's going to take. I'm rocket up my ass about practicing the guitar every day now, because I'm on the right track. I know I am. I'm getting better every day, but you know, like, I want to be better quicker. Other things in the pipeline, I've mentioned a couple of times, but I can play the piano, and having a piano would be really useful, especially for things like using it for MIDI. So I have my eye on a piano, but I can't get it just yet for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm planning to move house, and it would just be another thing I buy just to move. And another big thing is that moving house is not cheap, and everything that I'm making, which doesn't automatically go out on bills at the moment, will end up going towards the move. So yeah, there's that. You know, and this is on top of the fact that at the moment everything's gone up in price, like literally everything, from my gas, electricity, my internet's gone up. It's not as simple as just being like, I need this, I can buy it. Not a millionaire yet. But that is going to be a big thing that will hopefully propel the project forward, is getting piano, because I do want to include some piano on some of the tracks, you know, like a little bit like Muse. You know, they're clearly an alternative rock band, but Matt Bellamy plays a lot of piano on some of the tracks. I do like, Muse is a big influence of mine, and like, they were my favourite band for years. Absolute years. Now I think my favourite band is Alter Bridge, but you know, they're both like right up there. It would just be great to be able to play an instrument that I am familiar with, but I haven't owned a piano in years, and I really miss it. Like, I really miss it. So the idea is this: keep learning the guitar, start learning how to record music on the laptop, move house, buy more instruments, develop the project, start releasing stuff in a strategic way. You know what? It's all I really want to do. It's all I really want to do. So, and it might take time, but it'll be worth it.